We're back. Last week, Georgia lawmakers passed a tough new immigration bill that's being compared to Arizona's law, which, by the way, is still being fought in federal court by the Obama administration. Georgia's bill is different from Arizona's law in some ways. Most notably, the police can only check someone's immigration status if that person is already under investigation for a criminal offense. The bill would require, however, many businesses to verify that their workers are eligible to work here in this country. Plans for signing the bill into law haven't been made yet, but a spokesman for Republican Governor Nathan Deal told the Wall Street Journal that the bill, quote, fulfills his campaign promise to crack down on the high expenses that state and local governments here incur because of illegal immigration, close quote. Well, D.A. King's a supporter of the bill. He's president of an immigration policy advocacy group called the Dustin Inman Society, and Jerry Gonzalez is the executive director of the Georgia Association of Latino elected officials. He opposes the bill. Let me get through this. First of all, what is the case for, D.A., what is the case for the bill? Why do you need it?
Obviously, the state not only has the right, Chris, but I think the duty to protect the citizens from lost wages, lost jobs, and the relentless negative effects of illegal immigration. We are simply crime fighting here.
And you don't think the federal government's doing the job?
I don't think anybody thinks the federal government's doing their job on border security or immigration. No, sir.
Mr. Gonzalez, why are you opposed to this bill?
Well, fundamentally, you can't be passing a law to try to enforce the rule of law by, at the same time, breaking the law. Fundamentally, we believe this bill is unconstitutional. It'll create an extremely hostile environment in Georgia for all Latinos and all foreigners. And fundamentally, it's going to be an economic disaster for our state. I think when you have the agricultural industry relying heavily upon immigrant labor, if we do have, which is what happened in Arizona, if we do have a mass exodus of workers, then our agricultural industry is going to suffer. So fundamentally, this bill is flawed.
Does the agricultural industry of Georgia depend on people here without documents? To be blunt about it.
It's estimated, U.S. Senator Saxby Chambliss has said that 50 to 70% of the nation's agricultural workforce is undocumented immigrants. That being said, that number is probably higher here in Georgia.
So you need it. Do you deny that you need the people working without documents, people who are not in the country officially? Do you think the economy of Georgia can make it without them?
It's the number one industry. It's responsible for $68 billion for our industry. So our state produces $68 billion in our agricultural industry. It's the leading industry for our state. And if these workers disappear, our agricultural industry will certainly suffer.
Mr. King, do you rely on illegal immigrant labor, to be putting it blunt? Do you rely on people being in the country illegally for your economy to prosper in Georgia? Yes or no?
No, we certainly don't.
You don't need
it should be pointed out to the viewers that the agriculture industry has access to an unlimited, no ceiling number of legal guest workers under the existing H-2A visa system. People who are right now somewhere in the world are anxious to be willing workers and accept a living wage, proper housing, and the treatment with human dignity. When we watch the outward migration that will certainly happen when this bill is passed and signed into law, we will also see the inward migration of willing legal workers from all over the country who are anxious to take the jobs, now being filled by people who have escaped capture at our borders.
Does that make any sense to you, Mr. Gonzalez, that there would people pour into your state who will fill the jobs that normally are only filled by people who are desperate enough and hardworking enough to take really tough jobs in the sun? Do you buy that there are other people, thousands or tens of thousands of people that would come in and fill those jobs?
Absolutely not. There are jobs available right now. Fundamentally, our picking season is happening for Vidalia onions. There's jobs available in our poultry plants that aren't being filled because there aren't enough willing workers. Even in a down economy, these agricultural industries are having a hard time filling these jobs. So bottom line is the fact that obviously Mr. King hasn't spoken to many farmers, because I've spoken to many farmers that they say that there aren't enough workers. Even with the H-2A visas, there aren't enough visas available for these workers to be able to enter the country legally.
That's complete nonsense. Chris, that's complete nonsense. One more time, the H-2A agricultural visa has no ceiling. It's not a matter of there's not enough visas, some hocus pocus. We can bring in as much legal labor as is needed. The gripe from the farmers all during the committee process on this bill was that the legal labor costs too much. It was that cut and dried. It's all about the money. Every place that any state or local government has enforced immigration and employment laws, unemployed Americans and real legal immigrants rush to fill that space. Nobody's making this up.
Okay, Mr.
Chris,
Gonzalez, only got 20 seconds. Do you support any kind of border enforcement or immigration enforcement, or are you just for basic legal, allowing people to come in if they want to work here?
No, we absolutely need to have, we're a sovereign nation. We need to protect our borders. We need to make sure we have secure borders. We need comprehensive immigration reform. And instead of the Republican legislature pointing the finger at Washington, D.C., they need to work with President Obama to come up with comprehensive immigration reform.
I
want a comprehensive bill. I want a bill, a real one that's enforced. Unlike Simpson-Mazzoli, I want a real one that's fair and enforced. But I may be alone on that. Thank you, D.A. King. Thanks for coming on Jerry Gonzalez. Thank you, both of you. When we return, let me finish with how the birther issue is threatening to destroy the party of Lincoln.